Today on the Philly Talk podcast, we got to talk about training camp. Although we had our first injury scare, it looks like Nakobe Dean will be okay. He was sidelined, but it was more for precautionary reasons. Kelee Ringo had a huge day today, and Cindy Brown went from passing out ice cream to getting first-team reps at the safety position. Jalen Hurts, he keeps finding Agent Zero on that wheel route. And could we see Rashaad Penny return kicks?
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's I like. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we scream and fly, Eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk podcast. And today we got a lot to unpack. But before we do that, Eagle Nation, can I ask y'all for a favor? Help your boy out. Hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and ding the bell so you know when we go live, drop videos, or put out YouTube shorts. It's like a little text message, and I'm only uploading or going live if there's something important to talk about. Kelee Ringo had a huge day. We'll get there, but I want to start with some camp news. It's good to see everybody, for the majority, is healthy. Haason Reddick did a little bit more today. The Eagles focused on some screen game. Agent Zero got some reps at a bunch of different places. And, of course, Haason Reddick, Josh Sweat. We got to talk about Sweat because he's had a great camp, but because he's a veteran, it's getting overlooked. I think he's going to have 12 or 13 plus sacks. He's going to be a menace in the 2023 season, but there's a little bit more. Look at Cam Jurgens, who started every day of camp at right guard with Jason Kelce. We got to see the rookie get off again. That get off is quick. Nolan Smith versus Kyron Johnson. Jalen Carter on a little solo drill, but since the pads came on, he hasn't upset as well. And of course, the elite wide receiver, as he said yesterday, Quez Watkins. I'm just kidding. But as long as he catches the football, he could call himself whatever he wants. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Let's get into some stuff. So Christian Ellis and Nicholas Morrow, according to Chris Franklin, were the two starting linebackers due to Nakobe Dean being sidelined. Again, we're not benching Nakobe Dean. He had an injury scare, looks to be fine, according to an Eagles employee. But we did get to hear from Christian Ellis, and I like what he said here. Listen.
Are you a better player now than you were this time last year?
Yeah. Yeah. Comfort. Last year, I felt like I was tiptoeing, I felt like I was still getting used to being here in the NFL. But every day that goes by, every week, every year, I just get more comfortable. The game's slowing down. So it's been helpful. I still have a long ways to go. I want to be one of the best. I want to be one of the greats. But, it starts with today. It starts with this next step.
Perfect mindset, right? He wants to be great, but he knows he got to put in the work. He feels like the game slowed down. And so far during camp and OTAs, he's showing it. He's not just talking. Similar to TJ Edwards, UDFA, wait your turn, play ball. UDFA, wait your turn, play ball. We're going to need Nakobe Dean in this defense for sure, so we got to keep him healthy, but I think it's going to be interesting still. I don't think Christian Ellis got the linebacker 2 spot locked up. Nicholas Morrow, Christian Ellis, I think that's where the battle's going to come down to. However, Nolan Smith, man, I'm telling you, he continues to get reps at off-ball linebacker. The Eagles clearly trust him to play all around the defense. That is going to be crazy. Again, why did we draft him? To rush the passer. But with Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, Haason Reddick, and all the guys, Milton Williams can go outside, and he's had a great camp as well. D-tackle, defensive end, can do both. Why let Nolan Smith, when not rushing the passer, sit on the bench? He's such a weapon. 4.3 speed, man, and got him as the fastest linebacker. Utilize that. I think he'll be able to play that position at a B-plus level, rush the passer at an A. Now, I know we're asking a lot, but again, I don't want him sitting on the bench. And if he can do it, it kills two birds, one stone. Now, Sidney Brown has got his first chance at starting safety, right? Josh T, Sidney Brown is getting some first-team looks today with Reed Blankenship. That's a good pairing at safety. Look, who knows what the actual starting safety team will look like? I think it's going to be who we got? Terrell Edmonds and Reed Blankenship. That's who I believe the starting safeties will be once we get to week 1. But Nick Sirianni said it today. It's an open competition. Terrell Edmonds, Kevon Wallace, and Sidney Brown have all rotated in and out of first-team safety reps. The one constant, as we talked about 2 days ago and in the live stream, is Reed Blankenship. So I think he's locked to be a starter, and the guy next to Reed Blankenship is either going to be Sidney Brown, Terrell Edmonds, or Kevon Wallace. Right now, I think it's Terrell Edmonds. Who knows what happens in the future? I'm not rooting for any particular because iron sharpen iron. I want them all to work, and whoever gets it via Sean Desai and Nick Sirianni, I'm trusting them. Again, we did see some 3 safety looks in Sean Desai's scheme, so it's going to be interesting to see how much we see it. Maybe that combats the linebacker position. If they're not playing up to par, I think Nakobe Dean will. But let's get to the guy who's been to my left, probably your right, the whole time. Kelee Ringo, who Josh T said had a PBU on Devonta Smith. Another flash moment from the rookie cornerback. Hurts chats with Smith about the play right after as they walk to the sideline together. So I'm thinking there must have been some miscommunication, because if Hurts is talking to Smitty, he don't like something that happened. But again, Josh T said another flash moment for the youngster. And he also had a nice play against Dan Arnold, right? You don't normally see cornerbacks guard tight ends because of the size and difference, right? That's a linebacker or safety's job. So, I mean, he's showing the best of both worlds. You got to be a corner to stick with the Slim Reaper. But you got to be somewhat of a safety to stick with Dan Arnold in the body type. So, you got a PBU on Devonta Smith. You got a nice blanket coverage on Dan Arnold. I'm loving it, right? We heard from his camp, he don't want to be redshirted. So if he needs to be safety, needs to be corner, he wants to play. I don't know if he can start at corner, though. We got some lockdown guys in Bradbury and Slay, but it's good to see that the youngster, all these Philly dogs are flashing. From Nolan Smith to Jalen Carter, who we're going to talk about in a little bit, and Kelee Ringo, a guy we thought would take a little bit longer to flash. He's out there flashing. Now, look at this real quick. Rashaad Penny. According to Zach Berman, it's interesting seeing Rashaad Penny catching kickoffs. Hasn't done it much in the NFL, but he did return 7 kickoffs, 4 touchdowns at San Diego State. And here we got Rashaad Penny out there returning kicks. Just for GP, they also had A.J. Brown out there returning kicks, and we know for a fact he won't do that in the game. But all seriousness, it was Boston Scott, Rashaad Penny, and I forgot the other guy. That's a horrible job of mine. But Rashaad Penny was out there returning kicks, and he's more of a bruiser, right? You don't think the bruiser, you want more of a speedster back there? But who knows? Maybe he just got a little wiggle and a little burst for his size at what, 225-ish, 227. So at least he's being involved in this offense and whatnot. Now, Milton Williams, a guy, again, the Josh Sweats, the Milton Williams, they've been here, especially Josh Sweat. We want to hear about the rookies, but Milton Williams with some monster reps during his 1v1s, he could pop off this season according to Josh T. And we got to talk about DeAndre Swift. I do want to talk about Sweaty J too, but DeAndre Swift, according to Josh T, Hurts celebrates with DeAndre Swift at the end of 7-on-7 session. During one of his 6 completions, I heard in 7-on-7, Jalen Hurts went 6 for 6. But anyways, during one of his 6 completions, Hurts went through multiple reads before connecting with Swift on a wheel route up the right sideline. And we talked about that exact play. We talked about it for the simple fact that they are using Swift all over the field. But the wheel route, we didn't see utilized at all last year, and it will be utilized. You know what else will be utilized? Just him being a playmaker. Nick Sirianni was asked what is the best way to describe DeAndre Swift. He catches like a receiver was the first thing that Nick Sirianni said. And then he also said, you know what? Playmaker. If I needed one word to describe him, it would be playmaker. And I totally agree. He goes all over the field from motion outside to inside to the slot to the backfield. You can do 2 running back sets with him and Gainwell, some pony, old school way to call it. You know what I mean? I love it. Gate City's been asking for some 2-back sets. So maybe we get to see that in 2023. Now, Josh Sweat, veteran, who went from 4 sacks to 6 sacks to 7.5 to 11 last season, I believe is going to have 13 plus. Josh T said, Sweat is balling out this summer, registering a sack daily. And now he bats down a pass near the line of scrimmage. Sweat continues to move his body so well at the edges. Remember, Josh Sweat was the guy who intercepted Dak Prescott. He's very athletic. His get-off is 2nd or 3rd in the NFL, according to Next Gen Stats. He's batting down balls. We seen him interception the ball last year. And according to Josh T., he almost registers a sack daily. But the beat writers are not hyping him up because he don't need no hype like a Jalen Carter or Nolan Smith or the newly acquired toys, right? They want the clicks. Josh Sweat being a beast ain't going to get clicks on Twitter compared to, you see what Swift did? You see what Ringo did? You see what this guy did? But Josh Sweat might have, he's not better than Reddick. Reddick had 16, and he might go up. But I think Reddick and Sweat are going to be fighting for the most sacks on this team. I just think that Sweat is about to put it all together. I still betting money would take Hassan Reddick to lead the Eagles in sacks. But man, Sweat is going to have 13 plus. Listen actually what he said a couple days ago. He's been winning the battle, according to him, Sweat versus Mailata. Listen.
Matchups between you and Jordan Mailata so far.
Say it, bro.
You want to answer for him?
I'll say it's 50-50.
60-40. Me. 60-40 me.
We'll see what happens when the Pats come on. We'll see.
You know they love you though.
What is your favorite move that you like to use against offensive tackles?
Bro, I can't tell them that.
It isn't the long arm. It isn't the bull rush.
Nope.
That's what you did to me. It's
Gotta love the camaraderie they got right there. But again, Mailata said it's 50-50, winning battles. Josh Sweat says 60-40 me. Mailata said he killed him with the bull rush. Again, iron sharpen iron. When, as Milton Williams said on this channel when we interviewed him with Go Talk, when you're going against the best offensive line day in and day out, you get better. We've seen the growth in Sweat, Milton. And we're going to see the growth in a guy like Jalen Carter, who, according to Brennan Lee Gouton, Jalen Carter had a very violent bull rush on that, a bull rush on one-on-ones versus Brent Tough, holding on for dear life. The rookie is strong. So again, Brett Tough, a backup to the backup, but trying to hold his own in a one-on-one against Jalen Carter, couldn't do it, was holding on to dear life. Just the strength is shown rep from a guy like Jalen Carter. Now, before we get out of here, the realest of the real, the OG subscribers, the guys who rock with the Philly Talk podcast made it to the 14-minute and 30-second mark. We got to hear from Jalen Hurts and what Marcus Mariota said about Jalen Hurts just shows that he is one of the elites. You can say a guy's doing good. You don't got to prop him up this much. But before we do that, if you don't comment on anything we talked about in this video, drop the muscle emoji. Muscle Gang showed out last time. We had over 1,000 likes and like 100 muscles on the last video. Drop the muscle emoji. Philly strong. Listen what Jalen Hurts says first, right? The standard's the standard.
But, the standard is the standard. I said that, goals may change, aesthetic of things may change, but standards don't.
Standards don't. And when asked about what has Mariota seen from Jalen Hurts, listen what he says.
He's, first and foremost, he's an incredible athlete. And then secondly, just from my experience being around other guys, he's very accurate, especially moving around and creating plays. And this game is kind of that way now. When I first got in the NFL, it was very, hey, you got to win from the pocket. You got to be able to hit your back foot and make your right reads. And I think now with how athletic quarterbacks are getting, it's really cool to see kind of how dynamic players can create plays. And he's up there, man. He makes unbelievable plays even in practice. And for me, it's a pleasure to watch.
Pleasure to watch. A pleasure to watch. I agree. I can't wait. 38 days until the season starts. We got the Hall of Fame game is tonight. Jets and Browns. Normally, that's ugly. But now it's Rodgers and Watson, although they probably won't play because it's the first preseason game. But we got preseason games in 10 days. I can't wait. Leave your thoughts in the comment section, Eagle Nation. Hit that like button. It's free. It's easy. It don't cost a thing, and it helps. Subscribe. We trying to get to 40K. Much love and respect. Until next time, you know what time it is. We out.